Alright, what's up, BoobTube? It's been quite a while since I've done a video, and I figured I would do a video on the walkthrough on the issues that I had on my first shakedown with the rotary Miata. Very few people seem to have watched the short little clip that I did. That was all that I recorded because I was mainly trying to focus on the car and getting kinks and stuff worked out. So let's go ahead and get started on some of the issues that I have found so far and things that I need to fix. Alright, so always take good notes of everything. This was a big one for me, past sound. But yeah, so I got some temperature readings, a couple other things that I kind of figured out as I went along. And then the big things was had a fuel leak, had a small oil leak that I couldn't figure out where it was coming from, but I think I figured it out, which I'll point that out. And I found out that the exhaust was super duper restrictive. So what do I mean by the exhaust was super duper restrictive? I'll post a photo at some point in the video, somewhere in here, and you'll see where the exhaust actually, it's a slip fit for the header and the rest of the exhaust, and it actually blew it off. And when it blew it off, the car picked up about 15 to 20 mile an hour on the straightaway. So that's how much the exhaust was restricting it. It also burnt the paint off the car, so yay. But I think I'm probably gonna leave that just because it's a battle scar now. It's been raced. So issues that I found. One, I pulled my expansion tank off from the carburetor. I found that on really hard right hand corners it was sloshing all the fuel into the expansion tank and then out the little breather hole at the top of it, and it literally coated the top of the motor in fuel, which is why it's kind of got like this oily look to it. It's because all of the fuel evaporated off and the two-stroke oil stayed. The other thing, I have some sort of an oil leak. I'm pretty sure it was coming from the oil pressure sending unit, but I wasn't 100% sure, so I've come through and found that that was actually a little loose. This could have been tightened a little bit more, but I'm hoping it's not coming from the pedestal. I haven't messed with the pedestal yet, but I'm gonna do another event and try that and make sure that it's not coming from the pedestal. And then also, last but not least, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. Let's stick the light back in there. Maybe you can see it. Get it down in here real good. Okay, there you go. So it looks like right there, I guess you can see the black. I believe, based on pulling the inspection cover here and looking here, the front of the flywheel is dry, so I'm pretty sure the input seal on the transmission is leaking. So other than that, that was all the big issues that I really had. So I'm gonna get started on fixing the exhaust and getting the insert out, and hopefully it still passes sound. I was really surprised that it actually passed sound. Turns out that whatever it idles at is about as loud as it gets. So it was idling at like 85 decibels, and I don't think it got much over 90 decibels. So, which is good. That's way under the sound limit. So let's go ahead and pull this out. I gotta cut the weld off and grind down a couple spot welds to pull the insert out this way because it won't go out the tailpipe. So I believe this was the issue of my exhaust being too restrictive. You can see it had steel wool in it, but the car just completely melted it and blew it out, so it wasn't really doing much. So I'm gonna weld the part back up with the this not in it, and hopefully it's, you know, relatively same in sound. I doubt it. I bet it's much louder. But I did end up running it for a few laps open header, and they didn't blow sound on me, or say that I blew sound. So hopefully we're still good. Alright, BoobTube, another day, more projects in the car. So, I got a little aggressive last night after I turned the camera off because there was dogs barking and wife was home, so I didn't really want to deal with that too much. Plus it was a bunch of just boring tasks. So, I was having an issue with clearance. You can see I had cut this and trimmed it and everything else. So I got a little aggressive and I cut my header up, and we're gonna remake that joint and hopefully get it to clear the A-arm better, because you can see where it was actually rubbing right there. So that's the goal for this week, is to get that back together, and it'll make my exhaust fit correctly again, so it's not rubbing on everything like it was. And yeah, so let's get to going. All right, boys and girls. Well, it's another day, and I had to take a break from the header action. I've made some progress there. I didn't film a lot because there's a lot of me holding pieces up there, looking at it, checking the wheel clearance, so on and so forth. But to make forward progress, I did cut my splitter out. I don't have a jigsaw, so I used a circular saw and just did a line and a line and a line all the way around until I got to where there was just, you know, quarter inch or so left, and then I just took it around the edge with the blade all the way around. So what I'm about to do now is put a bed liner paint coat on this, and yeah, this is going to end up being a really long video. So oh well, it's going to have a bunch of updates, and hopefully everything will be ready, and I'll have more footage of me driving it on the street with everything fixed. Okay, let me get this done real quick. Alright, so there's the finished product of the top coat. This is just, you know, standard Rust-Oleum black bed liner spray bullshit. So, yay, on to the next project. Yay. What's up, BoobTube? Another day, another portion of this episode that is now like a week long, me doing stuff on the Miata. So today, I'm gonna put my splitter mounts on, and Johnny would be so disappointed with me because I'm not using his stuff, but in my defense, the way my radiator is mounted, his stuff wouldn't work. So I'm trying out a different brand that supposedly you can stand on. So J-Spec, and I'm gonna try it out and see how it all works. So let me get the camera set up and go ahead and install and get both sides on, and then figure out how the splitter sets up, how it looks. Let's get started. downside is it's a little short for my splitter. Alright, so since this design doesn't exactly fit what I need, because the gap there, and that's as short as it'll go, and they still need more. I'm gonna take this and redesign it and add more holes to it so that it can go lower and call it good. So, you know, oh well, shouldn't be a problem. Should be easy to fix, and we'll draw some more up. Alright, BoobTube. Been kind of slacking on the recording stuff, so I'm going to give you an update on the things that I've been working on. So, a lot of y'all know that I'm an engineer. I didn't flow test, CFD, any of this, but I know that this should work and this should help. So a lot of y'all probably saw that there's a giant hole in the hood. That's why. This will not go on top, this will be on bottom. So you actually won't see the perimeter of it, but you'll see the I guess louvers coming out. So this should cause a nice negative pressure behind the radiator, suck hot air out, which should work. And then I've also been working on my pie cuts for the header, and that's pretty much it. Along with, I have to make this special piece right here to go in here, and fit around, and it should fix my hole up right there. So that gives me tons of clearance. I don't know if you can see it in there. Tons of clearance in there now versus what I originally had, which was here. That's what I was having to do to clear it, and it was still, as you can see, it was still hitting that in a few different spots. And this is, it hitting this is eventually what led the exhaust to come apart at the track, I believe, as it finally like wedged it out of the slip fitting. But that's what I'm working on. I have the seal, the front main seal for the transmission on order. It should be here, I don't know when, sometime soon. And then I finally heard back that the studs are coming. I've been waiting on these studs for like 6 months. But that should bring everybody up to speed on everything. I'll be sure to start recording more, like when I go to put that in, I'll record how I do all that and everything else, which is really simple. I just trace some holes. But this video is going to be really long, and I don't apologize for that because it's an update video of all the things that I have fixed after going to the track and finding issues at the track. So, let's get back to it. Next on the to-do list is mark holes for this and get this mounted, so that's what I'm going to work on now. Yay. And there you have it. Nice installed, nice and sturdy. It actually gives a good spot to pick the hood up off the car, since the hood weighs like 3 pounds since all the shell is cut off of it. I didn't go through the hassle of recording me putting the nuts in and screwing them on my fingers. So that, but yeah, so that's that. Go get argon for the tank tomorrow so I can build up the exhaust. So that's probably gonna be the end of this section of the video. I'll probably pop back in tomorrow with more stuff. So okay, BoobTube. Finally got, well, most of the exhaust back together. So got a new muffler installed, welded up to the existing muffler, and then I'm gonna leave this. Probably gonna end up like scraping what's peeling off and like clear over it, just because, you know, it's cool. And then the header is redone. That's not perfect, but it's sealed and it'll work. So that's all I'm really worried about. Plenty of clearance now between the A-arm and the exhaust, which was my big issue. But that is, I'm actually going to finally end this video here and upload it. The splitter is painted. Oh, so I ordered J-Spec splitter supports, and they weren't long enough for the 9 Lives Racing front air dam, so I built my own. So you notice these have 4 bolt holes. These are significantly longer, and the base is also wider and should have more support overall. But it was pretty much his idea, and I just modified it to make it work for me. I won't sell these since this is his design, and if he wants this design that works with the 9 Lives stuff, I'll definitely send him the file over. But it's pretty much just a almost carbon copy, except with I made some strengthening changes, like there's a spot in the middle of the fold to help strengthen it, and so on and so forth. So they look perfect. They're gonna fit up, and I'll have some adjustment because I mocked it up earlier, and I was actually on this hole instead of the top hole. So it's going to be between these 3 holes that the splitter rests on instead of it being on the top hole. And I had like this much gap before I was actually touching the splitter. So that is all for tonight. I still have a few more things to do to the car before it's ready to rock and roll. And then I guess in the next video I'll show the new toy hauler. If you follow me on any of the social media, you might have already seen it, but I've got some work to do to that, and I'll probably record whatever I do to that. So until next time, guys, happy prepping.